Hello. Hi. How are you? I just wanted to show you Lollipop, who lives in my house now. Look at him being such a good boy. But he's standing guard. Let's listen to what Lolly has to say. Well, hello. Hi, you. Yep. Living with a rooster is always unusual at best. And for now, Lolly is inside at night with me because he started a fight out in the coop with the other chickens. So he's being separated for a while. So he's asleep, and while he's sleeping, I'm going to be coloring. This is out of Sea of Colors. This is Angela Gonzalez, and this is a buddy color with a group of people who do a page out of out of one Angela Gonzalez book every month. And this one is, they suggested in the group, someone in the group suggested I turn this into a horror mermaid, and that pearl she's carrying I should turn into a severed head. So you don't have to twist my arm. I'm like, okay. So I drew some hair in, and it's just a simple face. And here I thought that piece of kelp seaweed sticking up behind her looked like one horn, so I drew in another horn. And then now I'm just placing some blood droplets and some kind of stringy hair. This is all colored in with pencil, or drawn in with pencil. So I've drawing this with pencil, and then I'm going to because I wanted to make sure that I knew where my drawing was, I'm inking it now. Of course, I'll be going over that all, but I'm inking it just to make sure that I don't color it in those spots with color I don't want. So I'm going to put some black ink on here. How are you tonight? I miss you. I'm glad you're here coloring with me this evening. I'm watching Colored by Maya on my iPad. She's doing her snippets video. She got some happy mail and showing us how she draws with various mediums, colors. All right, that's just sort of a rough drawing, turning my pearl into a severed head. And then I'm going to, I want to make this a darker image. So once I get the severed head all drawn in here, I'll get started on doing some coloring. Yeah, that's good enough for now. And I usually like to start with the background, so I'm going to pick out, I think, a dark green. I was going to do black, but it just seems like I do a lot of black backgrounds, and I really wanted it to seem a little bit more believable, maybe. So I took this old Spectrum Noir. Spectrum Noir stopped making this brand of marker, and they went to, I think they changed the look or they discontinued them altogether. Anyway, there was a few months, a couple years back, where all of them were radically on sale, and I bought a bunch of packs. And they're just now all starting to dry out. I only have a few left. I use them for backgrounds to wear them out, to use them up, because, I'm not buying any other alcohol markers other than Copics. And, but the problem is that I'll get halfway through a background and it will dry up because they are old. But spoiler alert, this one makes it. I decided that I wanted this really dark green, and I was thinking at the time that I would start dark and go lighter as I go in, but I didn't want to bother with blending. I don't know. For some reason, I just kind of wanted the separation of color. So I'm just basically going to make a dark green ring around, and then a somewhat lighter green, and then a somewhat lighter green. So like 3 circles. And I'm really enjoying myself. This is fun. I don't think of backgrounds as a nuisance. I often do them first on busy pages like this so that I can then see the elements easier. But I also make mistakes sometimes when I do this. And you'll see later, I do make a mistake. I almost colored in the kelp there, but that's 4 pieces of kelp altogether with no gaps. But you know, any mistake can be corrected. Acrylic covers everything. So, and so do those Lango gel pens. So you can cover anything with gel pen or acrylic pens. And this is fun. I'll turn on your coloring videos and just sit there, and the only thing I have to do is pay attention to where the lines are. Here I got confused. That should have been kelp right there, but I do the kelp in a gel pen, so it's no big deal. I just go over that with the gel pen. So I finished it all, and now I'm bringing out a Copic, which looks like another Copic spilled on it. And I don't have many of these classic Copics. They're square. They don't have the chisel end. I don't know how I even got this one. I only have a couple of these. I like this. I'm like, whoops, nope, that's not right. I like the sketches because they have the brush at one end and the chisel at the other end. And now chisels, a lot of you don't use the chisel ends, and that's a real shame because chisels can cover large areas and not leave any streaks. I notice, people have to be real careful, and there's certain techniques to use your brush to cover large areas and not get streaks, but a chisel just color away and you won't get streaks. So I love the chisel. I don't see any real use for these bullets. Wait a minute. These original ones don't have the brush. That's why I'm using the bullet. They have a bullet and they have a chisel. And these, I don't think there's any reason to have a bullet nib on an alcohol marker. They don't color like a water-based marker. And the bullet nibs give you the illusion that it's like a water-based marker, so you just rub it like that to color, but that's not the best use of an alcohol marker. See here, I got tired of the streaking and went to the chisel. But the problem because the chisel lays down more color. But the problem with the chisel is I can't get into those little spots. I'm getting a little bit annoyed right there. I can't get into those little spots with that dumb nib end either. I need the brush. The brush can get into tiny little spots. But I wanted this color. I probably have this color in the Copic Sketch, which is the marker I love the most. But I'm using the chisel for as long as I can because it's fast and it lays down lots of color and there's no streaking. I have to switch to the nib end to get into here, but I just find nib ends to be super messy. You have to get really close to the lines and then things bleed. It puts down a little bit too much of the ink in these, so it bleeds in these small spaces where a brush puts down less, and you can control it better. So I was really missing my brush here. But here, do you see what I'm saying about the circles? I don't know why I don't know why I wanted that look. I just did. These drawings are anything but realistic. I love her drawings. The paper's a nightmare, but her drawings are so good. I think we're still watching Maya on my iPad there. I'm currently laying in bed doing this voiceover. I did the voiceover. I have a beautiful microphone here at the house, but it's huge and it's heavy, and I don't like to take it to work in case I break it or something. So I use a portable microphone, one of those clip-on ones, And that's what I used to voice over for the second murder mystery in the haunted high-rise. But I didn't like the sound quality. I've used that microphone before and the sound quality was good, but it sounded like I was in a tin can. No matter what I did, I couldn't get the sound quality better. So I realized I need to do voiceovers at home. But I was fatigued and needed to lay down, and I thought, well, I could lay in bed and do this. So now you're with me in my bedroom. Is that weird? I don't know. I also mentioned in my last video that a number of you have said you use my videos to go to sleep by because you like my voice. I am going to make you a present. I am so grateful for all of you guys' support, and I'm going to be making some coloring videos where I'm telling a story. Look at me. That was me saying, oh, that's wrong. I just colored into her shirt. But I'm going to go over that with some markers. I have to now. I was going to use alcohol markers, but I colored green right into her shirt. Anyway, back to your present. I'm going to make you a present. So it won't be monetized, so there won't be any advertisements because I use sleepy time videos, you know, like Get Sleepy. He's a storyteller, and I love his videos. Snooze with Sam is another good one. And then sometimes I listen to, like, piano music and stuff like that. If my tinnitus is really bad, I listen to crickets. But the worst thing in the world is going to sleep and then an ad starts in because they're always louder and obnoxious and they wake you up. So bless your heart going to sleep with my regular old videos that are monetized and have the ads. I'm so sorry about that, but I will make you some special videos that aren't monetized, so I'm not making anything from them, but that way I can cut the ads out. And those will be a special series just for you. Present, and I'll read you a story. This is a Shuttle Art gel pen, the glitter pens. These were a gift, and the more I use them, the more I like them. Now, their glitter doesn't stay put. It comes off pretty easy. I fix all my images at the end, but the glitter has come off and kind of spread all over before that. But you know, I don't mind it at all because it makes for a wonderful sparkly page. It's a happy little accident. So what happens is when I get done with the hair like this, although I have missed a few spots, I go back and get them. I get glitter all over the place, and it's kind of nice. So I have these acrylic painter markers, and I do a thumbs down. These, what they call painter markers by Languo, are acrylic markers, and they're not great. Now, the gold and the silver are fantastic, though, so I use them a lot. But these, I'll never buy them again. They're Languo's acrylic markers with the brush markers are really translucent. They're not opaque at all, and you know, it's not a big set. They're not a lot of color. I wouldn't bother with them. As good as their gel is, their acrylic is not. So the Guangna are a lot better, and the Tule Art are, of course, the best. But if you can't afford Tule Art, Guangna is great. And here I was reaching out to get the black. Now, the black I recently used for a background, and it's almost dead. I don't mind. These are more pens that I'm using a lot on color by numbers and stuff like that, just trying to use them up, but not on anything that I really care about because they're not very good. And here I'm turning her into I guess what they are, the Las Vegas Raiders now with the black and silver. That's all I could see once I did it. But I didn't want to make her tail all silver. It's funny because I do this kind of stripy stuff a lot, and I almost always don't care for it. I don't know why I keep putting stripes. I'm really pushing this pen now. It's almost out with ink. or what is it, paint. But I want to make her kind of colorless. She's sort of the bad guy. I mean, she is carrying a severed head. But then again, I turned the severed head into a demon head, so maybe she's the good guy. I don't know. But I'm giving her shiny silver hair, black and silver tail, and I haven't decided yet about her scales. So I'm moving on to something that I had decided about, and that's I'm going to play with this severed head. I'm using an alcohol marker just to color in, just so I can see where I put those blood splatters. This is just basically basing because I'm going to be doing other effects on top of this. But the things that were going to be red, I wanted to color in red real quick. And I want to give her black, either stringy or kind of gross looking hair. And I was trying to decide right here, looking through my pens, what would work. And I finally decide that I'm going to use a gel. This is a Languo gel pen. I grabbed a purple and I did these fish's dots just to see what color it was. Nothing like trying out your pen on the image you're coloring. And then I decided that that was perfect for the kelp because I was going to do black, but I just thought, I need to reserve, I'm just feeling like I need to reserve black for just very particular things in this image. So I'm going to do this kelp, which I'm putting mostly in the background with this really dark purple. Now, I'm fighting a little bit with my pen. So the first thing I do is this. Wipe off the end and keep working with it, hoping that by holding it, it's warming up. You can also stop and just grip your pen. To warm up the gel usually will make it run better. But I'm still getting, I don't know if you can see that real well, but it's not getting full coverage. It's skipping. That's what it's doing. It's skipping. So I decide I'm going to do the technique that always works. I thought I'd keep going. But see, it's skipping way too much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here and I'm going to look for my kneaded eraser. Because I know it's right around there somewhere. So I'm looking for it now. I broke off a piece of my kneaded eraser, that putty type eraser. And there's close-ups of my arms, my pajamas, my old tattoos. Just see a lot of me there. And I grabbed that piece, and there it is. Now, some people say you don't take off the end, but you don't have to take off the end at all. The end has holes in it. So what you need to do is just plug up the air that can get into the pen, plug up the holes. So because the end already has holes on it, you don't have to rip out the end every time. You can just put that cap on, and now it's just flowing out of there. Big difference. Yeah, I'm going to bring you in to show you. Look at that. Lots of ink. Now I don't do that all the time because you will go through your pens faster because you're just more ink is flowing. But it was going to take me forever, and it wasn't working very well without plugging up those holes. Now those holes in the pen are there for a reason. They're structural. They're there to regulate the ink flow. It's all part of the design of these pens. But if you want to MacGyver it so that lots of ink will flow, you just take clay or Play-Doh or these like that. Like I have a kneaded eraser and just put it over the end. Now the flow doesn't last forever. It'll start slowing down and skipping again. And what I find is then you need to sort of readjust whatever you're using to cover the holes. Readjust it. Maybe shake the pen just a little bit. These gel pens don't like being shook too much. Just maybe like a couple jabs down on a piece of paper, which is what I did just there. And I'm I'm also finding all the pieces of kelp that I accidentally colored over. But gel pens cover everything, so here we go. I learned these hacks from you guys. There's several of you that have showed the hack of taking the end off, but then I just watched a video by a colorist who said you don't have to do that after all, so it's much easier. I think somewhere in here the flow starts slowing down on me again, and I try that first, just cleaning off the end. And then I try just kind of squishing it all down together some more, and that worked. Now the flow's better. Fun hacks. It's really great watching other people's videos because you learn so much. I watch everybody's video that I know has a YouTube channel, and if I'm not liking and commenting your videos, that means I don't know you exist. You need to let me know. So here I'm tapping it again, and that's what keeps the flow going. I really like this purple instead of black for using in backgrounds and making when kelp is dark or when trees are dark or bushes are dark. I'm going to use this again. So that worked out pretty well. Now to take this off, I pulled that off. Look at my poor hands. Oh, they're all banged up from stuff. Some of that's ink, some of that's banged up from working around the property. I burned myself again. So silly. Don't look at the hands. Yeah, look at that burn. Oh, I did that this morning. All right, so now we're going to switch back to this acrylic paint marker by Languo. And this is a light gray. A very strange light gray. But look at that, covering up the alcohol marker just like lickety-split. Lickety-split. Yeah. And so her dress that she's got on, her little shirt's going to be gray. I'm sticking with her being monotone in blacks and grays. Still haven't decided what I want to do with her scales yet. But the tunic she's got on can be gray. Yeah, I'm liking that. And I didn't color any more of it because I want to color in that severed head and see where her hair is going to go. And here, I'm going to color her face in, and I'm trying different colors, but that color looked too alive. I needed a dead color. And then I remembered the color that I made the gal in the haunted high-rise for our most recent murder mystery. That sort of weird, fleshy, dead flesh looking color. And I'm like, that's the color. Yeah, much better here than on that living character I put it on. This is better. It's a very strange color. I don't even know what to call it. What do they call it? I'm trying to read the end there. It's just a really weird color. Okay. Now I thought, well, we could black jelly glaze her eyes and mouth there. I've already made the severed head of her. But, you know, we love our black jelly glaze. Yeah, love that stuff. And then while it was in my hand, I thought, well, what else can I color with it? How about her hair? Her hair is. I usually use the black jelly glaze for small, tiny little things because this pen is very precious to me, and I run out of them, and they're very expensive, stupidly expensive. But I was thinking, how else would this slimy, oily hair look like? It would look shiny underwater. So, black glaze it is. The black glaze under my lights is hard for you to see because it's so reflective. I love this pen so much. I'm going around those spots that I made red for the blood. Plus the black marker just goes over everything. Yep. And it turns out pretty much exactly the way I wanted it to look. It's starting to get creepy. I kind of love that the mermaid is smiling, has a little smile on her face as she's carrying a severed head. Going around her horns. The horns you could still see lines through because it's just got alcohol markers on it, and I'm going to be working some more with those. But putting on the black glaze this early in the game is always tricky because it takes, overnight to dry. So I know I can't do much more after this on this page, or I'll be smearing it all over the place, which is what I always do. I smear it. Yeah, I like that. And then I kind of mess it up a little bit, but I still like it. I don't know why I did a line underneath her chin. Yeah, I started going crazy. That's put away the pen, Candice. Step away from the jelly glaze pen. Does it look like a head? I don't know. Now this is a jelly roll glaze in a red color, and it's really pretty. It ends up being more translucent than what I needed it to be. I put it over the horns, but you could still see through it. But it's pretty. I love this color, and I don't use it very often because it kind of does look like blood. It's really red, and but it's just neat. So we'll try it. We'll see. You can go over anything if it doesn't work out. But because this is slightly raised, has some dimension to it, it kind of looks like drops. I was trying to add more ink there, darken it up. Plus I found when I went over where I had done the gel pen, the purple kelp, it picked up some of that purple. And then when I went over the dots, it was a darker red. It was some of that purple gel pen mixed with the jelly roll. Then I thought she needed blood on her face too. The blood's going to take some work. Yeah. But now it's, I need to put it away. Yes, because it's very, very wet. And you can see, I was trying to show you on the back that only the alcohol marker's gone through. But it's very, very wet, and I just need to let it sit. So this is what I do. I bounce from whip to whip to whip. And now I'm actually watching Coloring Bumblebee and her spinning wheel tracker that's picking out pages for her for this season. And I decided to get out my current opus, my current Kirby opus, and work on these rocks. These are the Scottish monsters coming out of the deep. And I have these Derwent Color Softs that are this trio here that have been sitting in my desk while I work on this, and I want to put them away. So there was no rhyme or reason to why I chose to do this page next, except that these pencils were staring at me and I wanted to put them away. So I don't have a plan when I sit down, and that's part of what I wanted to show you in this video tonight, is that I go from whatever actually, it's either the picture is interesting me or the medium is interesting me. If I love this page, but if I didn't feel like using pencils tonight, I wouldn't have worked on it. Often I'll feel like painting or I'll feel like alcohol marker, and then I'll look for the page I have scheduled this month that I'm going to use that medium with, and I'll pull it out. But I get bored, and I can push through it and work on just one page. I used to do that all the time. When I first started coloring, I could not start a second page until I was done with the first page. And I'm not even talking about in the same book. I'm talking about, I was trying to show you here that that blade says made in Germany, but that housing says made in China. It's a Faber-Castell, I thought, but I don't think it is. I think it's a knockoff. Anyway, so I used to finish one page before I began another in any book. That was probably why I only did 8 to 10 pages a month. I now do close to 30, and I think it's because of this. Well, I'm faster. I'm a little bit better with my mediums now. I've had a lot of practice now, but I feel like I'm just, when you work on more than one at a time, you can bounce around before you get tired of it. Because when I get tired of a page, instead of putting it away, if I keep working on it, I'll make mistakes. I'll get to a decision fatigue where I can't decide what the next color is going to be, and it just doesn't turn out that well. Plus, it takes a long time. If I put it aside and pick up something else that it calls to you, maybe another medium, maybe you need to, oftentimes I need to switch mediums. I'm just tired of using this one. I want to use something else. So I go to that page. Or maybe I'm just tired of that color. Like I could never sit and do all these rocks at once. There's just no way. But I can sit for 20 minutes and work on them. And I have found these Derwent color softs are amazing in Kirby books. I just happened to have them at work one day, and I started using them. And they are smushy soft like Prismas, and they just cover everything. So I really like the colors. I have a small set, and so I'm just having fun with these rocks. Look how dark this is going on. That's the black there. And it's so black. The Derwent Color Soft Black is black, black. It's just beautiful. So I'm using a black, a brown, and what's called lichen green. It's like a greenish brown. So I went ahead and finished those rocks off camera while I watched Jessica Coloring Bumblebee's video. And I got the rocks done. So all that's left now, that page is done except for, the lighthouse, of which I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. But on the left side, you see the sky is based with watercolor, and it's pretty good. The right side, I decided to use some pencils and go over it, and I like the watercolored side better, but now I have to make them match. So I'm stuck with having to go and do that sky, put the pencil over it so they'll match. And then I need to do a little bit more with the clouds and get that lighthouse taken care of, and this page will be done. But I want to show you something. I was working on this page, and I just got tired of it and flipped it and was like, oh my God, I love this page. And I just started working on it. Okay, I have no business starting this page. This is the Qilin page in this book. And that side, I still need a second coat of the black acrylic. Acrylic pens and acrylic paint take 2 coats at least. That side has 2 coats. This is a page as I've always wanted to do. So I just picked up some mediums. So far I'm using acrylic, languid gel pens, pencil in the lanterns, and I just started working on it. So I made another whip when I really need to be working on my mermaid pictures. But I'm excited to get that one finished. Now I have a buddy in this, and so I decided, the Angela Gonzalez one is still drying. So I decided to pull this one out. Now, the mediums I'm using in this one are different, but not that different because in this page I'm using a lot of acrylic. And I think what I want to do is I'm not bored. I'm looking for it now. I don't know why I couldn't find it. I feel like doing the water, and it's just going to be straight acrylic coloring. So here's the double page spread I'm doing as a buddy color. This book was a beautiful gift, and this is the first pages I've done in it, and all this is done in Hemi gouache. I had got out my Hemi gouache and had a lot of fun making shading, like blending and just having a really good time doing all this. And I love the colors. These are colors I don't normally choose, so I'm really enjoying it. And I really wanted a nice light blue for the water. So I'm going to keep watching Jess because she had a lovely 2-hour video, so that entertained me, and do all the water. And I chose this acrylic. Again, I'm trying to use up these paint pens because I don't care for them, but I wanted to use a brush paint pen because I thought, that'll be easier than even paint because it was kind of tricky going around stuff. So I decided that, yeah, this is what I was going to do. I was going to get that blue done because, boy, and look at how it doesn't go over very. I'm trying to go over just a little bit of pen there, and these just aren't very good markers. But and I'll have to go over all of it a second time. But I'm going to go ahead and just color in the water. I'm not sure what these are. They're in a couple of the page. Are they? They look almost like pieces of ice at the top of the water, but I'm just going to make them a different colored blue, I think, or maybe white. This is such a cute page. This whole book is darling. I was gifted all three, this bunny book, the polar bear book, and this isn't the bunny book. The bunny book, the polar bear book, and then this one are the three of that series, that Japanese series. Different people gifted me different books. I couldn't believe it. All of a sudden I had all three. It's so exciting. So now I have buddies going in all three of them. I finished my first page in the polar bear book. And now I'm working on this. I have found this paper to be tricky with water mediums. Like it even buckles a little bit with just acrylic paint pens. But not bad. And it did really well with the gouache. So I'm going to finish up all this and get back to you. There you go. My first coat is done. What do you think? I think that color works really well with the other pastel peaches and greens that I'm using. I was worried about introducing a blue, but I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm going to pull out my Hemi gouache and do some more of these bigger items because it's just so much fun to use. And I'm trying to stick to a palette of just these colors. Yeah. So I need to let that dry, though, before I can put a second coat on. So it's going to go over to the side to dry. And I'm not quite ready to go to bed yet. So I think I'll maybe bring back the mermaid. Yeah, I think I bring back the severed head mermaid and chance putting my hand in that still wet black jelly roll. I have plenty of other books I could pull out, but I'm really fascinated with this one. And I just want to work on it more. Now that things are drying, I'm really liking it. What do you think? I like those three weird oval egg-shaped circle background things. I don't know what. Now this RV69 Peony, this is one of my favorite colors that Copic puts out. This pen is constantly running dry because I use it all the time. I do have refills, so I refill it. And in fact, I think I have 2 of these pens. I use this color a lot. It's this beautiful burgundy. Whenever I have an octopus, they're either like pink, purple, or some kind of derivative of that. For some reason. Well, I didn't want to make him purple because I had purple kelp, so I thought, well, I'll do this burgundy color. I've never made an octopus blue or green or anything like that. I don't know why. They always have to be, well, this is almost close to what some are really colored. The Pacific octopus, the Great Pacific octopus, the big one we have out here, though, is orange. I could have made him orange. But I decided to keep him this mahogany color. Now, I do make a mistake. I got excited about coloring that tentacle, and I forgot to go back. See, this is what using a brush versus a chisel. The brush doesn't put as much ink down, and it dries quicker. So you have to keep going to all the ends before they dry, and I didn't do that. So I now have a V shape, but I decided to live with it. I can't use a chisel on this small of an octopus, but I could have bounced from end to end and not spent so much time on one tentacle so that all the others dried. I forgot. I got excited about the tentacle. Jack is snoring. I don't know if you can hear him. Okay. I would normally let this dry, but I'm being impatient, and I got out a Language gel pen that I wanted to use to go over the black lines. And I usually use something for contrast for the suckers. Oh, this is where I found a couple of spots that needed to be silver. But I decided not to go with a big contrast. I pick a kind of a red, and I like it. It's a little disconcerting, and I think it goes with the page really well. Everything's a little off. Maybe that's why I like the striped tail and the weird oval misshapen circles. Everything's a little off, just like this mermaid is. Who goes demon hunting or something. At first I was like, I don't know about this. It's not much of a difference. It does dry. I couldn't even tell if the ink was coming out, so I had to test it again. It does dry lighter, though. These Language gel pens, they go on really wet and juicy and dark, but they dry matte and lighter. So you always have to take that into consideration. I definitely recommend swatching these because you can't go by the color of the wet ink in the pen. When it dries, it's a completely different color. I'm looking at it wondering if I should stop and pick a different color. But I don't know, I kind of liked it. And then I accidentally, I was so mad at myself. So I decided to just make the eyes bigger, the little pupils bigger, because I accidentally got a red mark on it. And that kind of makes this octopus look a little more deranged. And it worked. You just gotta, mistakes happen. And they aren't even mistakes, they're just a change of plans. Just go with it. You might learn a new technique or find something you like better. And you may not. You may never not like it, and it's a lesson to not do it again. It's all valuable. Yeah, then I decided to go over everything with that pen. I do like to go over lines. It's really therapeutic, isn't it? That's why people like to trace their drawings. Or trace drawings, colorings. There are a lot of people out there that will trace it, the whole thing. But see how it's drying? It's kind of drying a much lighter color. I really actually like that. I'm digging it. And I know I'm chancing fate having that wet black jelly roll right there. Normally I would have had this sit overnight before I messed with it again, but I really wanted to work on it. I toyed with the idea of making the severed head look more realistic, like a skull, with some shading and stuff, but I think then it would look weird because there's nothing realistic about this page. It's all cartoony, so making it sort of a cartoon I think fits. Yeah, that octopus is looking a bit cray-cray. The red eyes and the bigger pupils. It's gone past cute and into wackadoodle, and I like that very much. Thank you, ladies, my buddies who wanted me to do this as a altered page and turn that pearl into a severed head. I'm having too much fun with this. Yep. And when you're coloring, don't be afraid to turn that book, turn that page any which way, because you can pull a pen straighter than you can push. So you want to pull your lines towards you, and that can be nice and straight. Trying to see, I just set my hand on it, and I'm like, oh, I need to finish up this octopus and put this book away. When you try to push a line, it never ends up as straight as if you were pulling it. So turn your book, get it into angles to where you're comfortable. That's how you get straight lines. There's nothing saying you have to put the book a certain way, like on an easel, like you would a painting, and just, paint, just move yourself and keep the paint, the piece of artwork steady. You don't have to do that. You turn it. See me pulling it? But then I push it and I made a mistake. Did you see that? I pulled it and it was straight. I pushed it and I went right off the line. So, yeah, I turn my books every which way so that I'm always pulling my lines towards me. I am really liking that red on the shiny silver hair. That red octopus sitting on that silver hair. So much fun. I'm so glad you're with me this evening. Yeah, this could have been something I really didn't like, and I could have gone over it with something else, changed it a bit up, but I like it. I have found that I like taking out lines, and a lot of times I err on the side of taking out too many lines. The sort of images I tend to color are usually really detailed, and if you take out all the lines, it gets hard to see what's what. Taking out all the lines leaves you with a more soft, fuzzy, painted look, which is really nice, but if you have a lot of tiny details, it can make it really difficult to see everything. So I'm learning to, in my detailed pages, to not take out every single line. Yeah, I like that. A red octopus on silver hair, and both of them looking kind of nutballs. Yeah. So, now that I've finished my coloring for the evening, I need to pick something to take with me to work tomorrow, because I never know if I'm going to have a little bit of downtime or a whole day of downtime. It really depends on what the client is doing. So I think the Mythic World, both of the whips in this one are, well, actually, I do know. This might be a good one to take because I know that I'm just using these 3 pencils over here. Yeah, these 3 pencils for the rest of the sky. So I could take, I try to minimize what mediums I'm taking. So I could put these back in my pencil box and take this, and that way I could do the sky and then do whatever I'm going to do with the clouds, because everything that's left is pencil. So this is a good option. I don't need a whole bunch of mediums, just pencil. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll take the Derwent Color Soft as a small set, so it's in a small case. It's easy to take. And I'll take this and finish it. So that's a good option to take. Now, what would have been another good option, you know what else I did while I was coloring tonight, was I made myself a new drink in this now empty, oh, so empty, was a banana frozen, the last of my frozen strawberries, because when I feel comfortable eating the last of last year's strawberries, because this year's strawberries are starting to come up now, and orange juice and some lactose-free vanilla ice cream. And it made like an orange Julius smoothie type thing. Oh my gosh, I sucked it down. Whew. But this is another book that I'm finishing a whip right now, but it doesn't have much left. This is another buddy. But what it has is several different mediums. I need some acrylic paint pen. I was using acrylic paint pen. Let me put this noisy glass down. I was using acrylic paint pen as paint, and I missed her eyelashes here. So I have some of that to do in the blue there. And then I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use for her hat. Her hat and her books will probably be acrylic as well, but the table might be something different. This is single-sided. I haven't used any alcohol marker on this page, but I could. And because it's going to take a few different mediums to finish this off, I'm not going to take this one to work tomorrow. So this is not an option to go to work. This is a whip, but I won't carry this book in my bag because I don't want it to get banged up. But I am almost done with this page. This is my first page. This is also a buddy. And this page is a double page, and what it needs, oh, sorry about that. What it needs is the background and this one seahorse done and his ukulele. Everything is done. So I haven't decided what that'll be. Probably either chalk pastel, I could try, or a gel crayon, probably. One of those Bible gel pencils I have. Those spread really wide and far. And then, and I have a few more things to finish up down here. So yeah, it needs to stay here. And it stays in a very special spot over there. Okay. Another option, another whip I almost have finished is out of 12 Fairy Tales. This one. This is a wonderful, wonderful gift from, why didn't I write it down there? This is from Suzanne, isn't it? Yes. This is not 12 Fairy Tales. Yes, this is 12 Fairy Tales. And this is the Deer Hunter. And this one is, all I have left is this pile of wood. And then this is done in acrylic, so I need to touch up the edges with probably some Lango gel pens and stuff. And finish coloring up here and her skin. But this is mostly done in acrylic. And this is a gel crayon of some sort. As is, I think a lot of this is gel crayon. That's acrylic. This is acrylic. There's a lot of acrylic in here. And then her outfit is washi tape. So this has been a whip for quite a while, and it is almost finished, but it needs to stay here. Again, it's too precious of a book for me to carry around, plus several different mediums are needed. Because I want to move on to the Little Mermaid in here. The Little Mermaid story, which is, oh, that's Sleeping Beauty. Isn't she wicked looking? Oh, she's so fun. I love this book so much. Where is, yeah, this is all Sleeping Beauty. The Little Mermaid. Peter Pan. These are reimagined in Korean style, which is what makes them so awesome. This is Snow Queen. Snow White. Look at all of our little guys. They all have masks on. I love Snow White. This page is so awesome. I can't wait to do this page. But Little Mermaid is back here. I have it even marked. It starts here. This is the Little Mermaid. So it starts with a sea page. And the little baby mermaid. So cute. And then here's her and her three sisters. Her three sisters are here. Excuse me. Excuse me. They're enjoying, stuff, playing with their hair. But she longs for feet and to be able to walk on land. So this is a nice double page. Thought about this one. And this is her peeking out of the water. And she spots the ship. And of course, it's a dragon boat. But this is one of them I really like. It's her with Ursula. So this is the reimagination, the Korean imagination of Ursula. And this is the Little Mermaid. So you see Ursula's tentacles. And she's got the scroll to sign before she takes Little Mermaid's voice. Isn't that a great page? I really want to do that. And then I'm not sure what that says. But that's when she gives up her voice. And then this is the very end of the story when she disappears into foam. This is the true fairy tale when she disappears into foam. And he's left wondering who she is. And there's the knife that she was supposed to kill him with in order to retain her human self and her human soul. But she throws it away and lets herself become foam because she can't bring herself to kill him. So I've been through this book. This is Beauty and the Beast. I've been through this book online. If you want a dedicated flip through of this, I flipped through it when I got it. If you want a dedicated flip through of it, something other than what I already have in my playlist, I can do that for you. But that's just starting, and I'm not even sure what mediums I'm going to use on those pages, so this is not a good book to take to work. This one that I worked on tonight, I'm unsure what mediums I'm going to use for the rest of it. It could be alcohol marker and pencils. So it could be a good one to take. But because I'm worried I'm going to get it, well, if I take my alcohol markers, those have my gel pens with it. And if I take my alcohol markers, then maybe I won't do the Kirby Rosanus one. And I'll also take these to work on because things have to dry. Because I have buddies in both of these, and these definitely are alcohol markers. We have a buddy in Witches Around. We're doing this page, and I haven't even started it. So I was thinking this would be a good one to take. Yeah, I think I'll take these and get them done, get some chunky stuff done. And this one, I have a buddy with Tammy Colors too, and we're doing... not that one. Wait, I think I am doing this with somebody though. I'm a little confused because I like this one too. And I've seen many of you are doing this page for May, and I can't remember if I committed to doing it or not. I don't think I did, because what I'm doing with Tammy is the one where she's reading and she's using an anglerfish for a light. It's so cute. Every page in this book is so cute. I love them all. I've only done a couple in here, and one of them I'm not real happy with. This is one I thought of. This reminds me of the Little Mermaid with all of her little trinkets. And that one's so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is the one I'm not crazy about that I did. I tried to use anything but alcohol markers. I was challenging myself. Gosh, I really thought that reading one was in the back. Am I thinking about a different book? I am. I'm thinking about Mermaids in Paradise. That's the one I'm doing with Tammy Colors too. So the one in here that's being done is the Jungle one. And that's with Tammy Colors too. I get these mixed up because their drawing styles. Still learning to talk with holes in my face. Hers and Denise Klett's drawing style are so close that I get them mixed up. So this is the one I'm also doing with Tammy this month. Haven't started it. It's so cute. She's doing dental work on the alligator's teeth. Aw. So, yeah, maybe I'll take these two with my alcohol markers. I'd also like to add some pencil on top, at least for this one, but I could do all the alcohol marker basing for these two. So that's probably what I'll take to work tomorrow. So that's what I'm up to this week or tonight. It's my Sunday, so I go back to work tomorrow. And so I just wanted to do some coloring actually with you, and to show you a little bit of my evening ritual of coloring, how I work it. And I will hope that you are safe and happy, and I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.